CP54B. This is a notice that you might receive from the Internal Revenue Service if they notice a problem with your name and or taxpayer identification number on your tax return. So obviously the IRS relies on your taxpayer ID number to reconcile you and your tax return within your tax record. So if there's a mismatch due to any number of reasons, then the IRS should be sending you this notice. So let's go ahead and start at the top of the form like I usually do. We'll kind of outline some of the things that I think you should know, and then we'll go through and see what we should do about the information in this notice. So in the upper right hand corner, you'll see the notice number, CP54B. You'll see the tax year for which it's pertaining to. So in this example, it's 2015, and the notice date. I always tell people to pay particular attention to the notice date, because if there is a requested action on this, it's usually tied to your notice date. So make sure that you know what date the notice says so you can schedule enough time to take the appropriate action. Below that, you should see a contact 800 number as well as your taxpayer ID number. Over on the left-hand side, it's the IRS letterhead. This field right here should be your name and your address. So I always tell people to keep their address up to date within their tax record. So the vast majority of the time, this is done simply by filing your normal tax return. If you file your tax return in a timely manner, then if you change your address within your new return, that will be reflected in your tax record. So just be mindful of that, because if you're looking for more time, the IRS isn't going to give it to you. So the best way that you can save time is to make sure that the IRS notices come directly to your location. So you can, if you're going to call the IRS, you can do that over the phone. If you're not going to call the IRS, you can also file IRS Form 8822 for individuals or IRS Form 8822-B for business owners. Those are the official IRS change of address notices. All right, let's take a closer look at this. So in here, it basically says that your tax return shows a different name and or social security number from the information provided by the Social Security Administration. So it can happen if you changed your name, if you used your spouse's last name, or if there's a typo. So those are the three most common ways. And to receive a tax refund, you would complete and return the response form that's attached with this notice. So if you recently updated your name with the Social Security Administration, or you're filing a tax return for the first time, it might take a couple of weeks. If you change your name in the future, notify the Social Security Administration. So at this point, complete the response form. We'll go over that next. And then once the IRS verifies your information, they'll send your tax refund. So there's a link to the IRS website. We'll get to that at the end of this video, but I'm going to kind of go over this response form. So basically says to review your information and to include copies of legal documents that might help verify your identity. So make sure that you give the IRS copies and not original documents. So, and then also if you're using an envelope, make sure, which the IRS should have provided, make sure that the IRS address in this response form shows through the window. So mark 1, you're going to mark the correct statement. And they give you 3 options. Either your Social Security information is correct, but the identifying information shown above is not. So this would be the taxpayer ID number. B, the identifying information above is correct, but your Social Security card is incorrect. And then C, both of them are correct. So if A happens, then you would complete the rest of the form, attach copies of your documents to prove your identity. And basically, in any of those cases, you would attach copies of your legal documents to prove your identity. But if they're both correct, then you need to reconcile this with the Social Security Administration, as well as completing and returning the form. So then you're going to write down your Social Security number exactly as it appears in your Social Security card. So if you don't have one, if you need a replacement, there's a form for that, form SS5. We'll put a note in the show notes, or we'll put a link in the show notes to videos and articles we've created about some of these forms that we've mentioned here. And then if there are any discrepancies, you would explain them. Hey, you just got married, your marriage certificate doesn't match, you're updating your records, whatever the case may be. And then you would enter your contact information and sign at the bottom of the form. And then send the response to the IRS. They try to make it pretty easy in a case where, you know, it should be pretty straightforward. So let's go back to this link up here just to circle back to the IRS website, see if there's any information. So no, nothing really notable. You may check on the status of your tax refund. There is a form, although you can go to the IRS website, you can do that as well. So to check your refund, we'll put a link in the show notes to the form that you would file if this does not work. So for example, let's see if we can do that. Oh, well, there is a form. I think it's IRS form 1310. I'll go back into my show notes and double check, but that would be the, IRS form 3911. That's the form that you would need to check on the status of your refund if 4 to 6 weeks passes and you still haven't heard anything about your refund. So let's go back to here, and I think we've covered down on everything. So as I mentioned, we'll put links in the show notes to the articles and videos that may pertain to this notice. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see covered in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.